It's good wherever you are.
Yeah, in action. Well, first off, Sue, just what's this experience been like for you going through just the So USA experience and going to some of these different universities?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a lot of fun. You know, there's like a core principle here where I think our national team is trying to get ready and try to prepare for what's coming in the summer, which is Tokyo. Obviously, these college teams, the ones we faced in November, we're getting ready for their season. Now we're kind of seeing two teams in mid-season form. So I think, like I said, at the core, there's like some actual basketball purpose where we're all here to get better. But I mean, along the way, we've been able to interact with the players, kind of share some of our experiences with them, listen to their questions. We've been able to see all the college campuses and all the great turnouts that we've had. I mean, really, every single stop we've made, there's been great fan support. So I think it's been like a celebration overall of women's basketball that's been fun to be a part of.
How much connection or how many reminders do that to your college days when you do this?
You look slow as hell.
How much does it remind you of college when you do these tours?
I mean, man, for me, college was a long time ago. But, you know, obviously when we went back to Connecticut, there's a lot of reminders there. That was the place that I played, the coaches I played for. You know, I wore those colors, so that was fun. I think what's been unique is, like, when I was in college, the WNBA was only like 3, 4, 5 years old. It wasn't really that old.
There were 2 leagues
and
there,
so,
right?
yeah, there were two leagues there for a little bit. And so the league wasn't really that old. So there was no players to really look up to. Not that we didn't know their names, we just didn't see them as much. But now I think the difference is we're seeing these players, like there's generations apart where they watched us in college, they watched us in the WNBA, they watched us on the national team, and they got to grow up watching us. So that relationship is a little different. So that's been probably my favorite part about coming back and, you know, thinking I didn't have that when I was in college and they do, so it's pretty special.
What are your thoughts on just some of this young talent that's been coming through the ranks these days?
No, there's some serious talent. I mean, these kids it's like evolution, you know. It's like they're athletic, they're jumping, they're running, they're all over the place. But they're also really good basketball players, very skilled basketball players. You can tell that this game, that the bigger it gets, obviously, the more people are going to get involved, the more competitive things are. It's like survival of the fittest, and that's what you see, right? You're seeing the result of that. You're seeing the result of having to fight for your spot and fight for your scholarship even. So it's been cool to see. It's kind of, again, getting in touch with the next generation. For me, I'm definitely almost done. I don't know if I'll play against any of these kids in the WNBA or anything like that. So I'm just trying to set the table so they can have success in their careers.
Do you consider yourself a pioneer in some respects? I mean, I know that there were schools like Immaculata back in the day that really had some standard, but I mean, how much do you feel like you've contributed to the growth of the game?
Yeah, you know, I don't consider myself like one of the first. I think when I think of those names, you know, it's more so Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, Cheryl Swoops. I feel like they really started the WNBA. Even before them, there was obviously players, Ann Myers, Nancy Lieberman, that were all pushing, right? I just consider myself somebody that, because of them, had the opportunity to play professionally. Because of them, you know, had the opportunity to make a living. But I'm really one of the first generations that had that available to them throughout my entire life. So all I mean by that is I want to make sure that, you know, even though I didn't start things, I want to make sure I'm pushing them forward in the right direction. I want to make sure that these younger generations, these younger kids, you know, have an opportunity, the same one I did, but even better. I always joke, I'm like, I hope in 20 years I'm like that disgruntled old person who's like, man, I wasn't making $1 million. Because that means I did something right, and that means they're doing something right by carrying the torch on as well.
The new CBA that came out.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to all the things that it outlined?
The CBA was a huge win. I think it just demonstrated, you know, the players really stepping up and you know, knowing what our value was and sticking to that, not wanting to budge. It's also a testament to the league, you know, the WNBA stepping up, understanding that we needed them to come to the table and kind of raise the stakes as well. So it was two sides coming together, trying to figure it out what was best to move the league forward. For the first time, I think we actually talked about that versus just kind of going like tit for tat in a negotiation, like a give and a take. That wasn't the case. You know, we really wanted to talk about things that were going to propel this league and move it forward, and I think the good news is it was a success, and there were wins all over the place.
Do you think it could have an impact on players going overseas in the offseason?
Of course, yeah. I mean, the whole thing kind of, you know, is based on that. You know, in a couple years, it's not that you can't go overseas, it's just that you can't be late. But I guess to counteract it, the WNBA has put into place a bunch of opportunities in the off season for people to stay home if they'd like. So we're going to see how it goes. I think all in all, again, at the end of the day, when you sit down, a player, an owner, whoever you are, WNBA league office member, when you sit down and you think about the WNBA, you have to say to yourself, is this the league we want to be the primary league? Is this where we want to be able to make all the money and not have to go overseas? And when the answer is yes to that question, that's when you can look at the CBA and say, like, okay, we're moving in that direction. And I think that's really the positive part.
What do you think the expanded schedule will do for the league?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you know, I was on the executive committee, and I really tried to just learn my history, investigate some things, and I was shocked to find out that the NBA has been playing 82 games since the start. I mean, this wasn't a situation where it was like, okay, let's start with 50, see how it goes. Oh, and then they moved up to 60 because things were going well. No. And it's like, I think you have to play games. You have to have games. You have to be out there. You have to be seen. You have to be visible. So the extended schedule to us, I think, we move in that direction. The more games, the more people can see you. We don't disappear for these long stretches of time. So I think it's a great thing.
College tours are. Obviously, you're getting a chance to see a lot of young kids who potentially be the next generation.
Yeah, I think for the players on the college teams, hopefully they just get a chance to be around us a little bit. Every stop we've made, we've had the opportunity to do a little Q&A, kind of chit chat, and feel they're usually shy. I'm not gonna lie. But once the ice breaks, they get in there. So it's an opportunity for them to see what we're like, to see, you know, for us to tell them some tips, some, you know, kind of pay it forward and pass our experiences on. I think when we get on the court, it's also an opportunity to see just how hard we work, the way in which we play. I know that the Louisville team talked about, you know, watching us in practice and how we don't really waste, you know, energy out there. You know, we're not wasting movements. You know, we make the right read, we keep it moving, that kind of thing. So I think it's beneficial. And then for us, it's been fun to play in front of these fans. You know, like I said earlier, every stop we've made, it's been huge crowds. And so it's gotten, you know, there's some excitement in women's basketball. It's good to be a part of that.
Angel McCautry, how critical is her return?
I had a question.
Shoot, that was her question.
Do you think you can bring UConn recruits to Louisville?
What? What does that even mean?
Wrap it up. Sort of like 2 more questions.
So yeah, just do you feel like because of that, do you feel like you almost get asked so many questions? You feel like you almost have your advice answers.
My answers down. You know, I find that it kind of changes. You know, with each player, with each question. You know, I am who I am, and I got here the way I got here, so that's not going to change. But I'm learning as I go as well. So sometimes the answer does change a little bit.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.